Every once in a while, the perfect firearm jumps out at you and you just have to have it. And maybe it's not the most useful firearm, maybe you don't actually need that firearm, but it might be just what you've always been looking for, maybe has those special traits and characteristics that you haven't ever seen in anything else. Recently, IWI decided to release a very, very limited run of their Galil Ace Pistols and Rifles chambered in 5.45 by 39. I was fortunate enough to get my hands on one of the first 5.45 by 39 pistols that were released to the public. Let's talk about it. This channel, at the very beginning of all of these different review videos, I always do a disclosure segment. If you're not interested in it, you're welcome to skip ahead, but I feel like it's my duty to tell you guys when a company has sent me a product or products on different builds, because I want to be authentic with you. Now, one thing that I'm proud of is these free products, although they're cool, there's a lot of hard work that goes in behind the scenes to get to the point where a company sees your page and says it's worth investing in. Tons of years, hundreds if not thousands of hours learning this stuff, and then not only that, but spending tens of thousands of dollars networking, traveling the country, meeting people, going to events, all that other stuff. So I do take it very seriously. I have no interest in pushing out products that I don't think are legit, but I am gonna put products in front of you guys that I think are worth you guys considering. And in this instance with this particular gun, because it's not really readily available, it's not me trying to sell you on a product or tell you how great this thing is. I just want to talk about it. I think guns are cool. I think you guys think guns are cool, but I digress. This particular 5.45 Galil Ace pistol was sent to me for free, no strings attached. They were kind enough, after some convincing on my part, I begged for it. I'm grateful for the friendship that I have with IWI. And Vortex did supply this Crossfire red dot. No surprise, if you guys don't know, I love Crossfire red dots for this particular pistol, and so I could get it out into content. Guys, that's enough of the disclosures. I hate rambling on about that stuff, but it is important. Let's dive into the specs. This particular Galil Ace pistol is very similar to all of its other Galil Ace brethren. It features all of the same functionality and traits and characteristics as the other calibers like the 7.62 by 39 and the 5.56 NATO brothers and sisters of this platform. The difference really just comes down to the caliber that they chose, and this particular pistol is chambered in 5.45 by 39. The barrel on this pistol is 8.3 inches. It is chrome lined, cold hammer forged, and it has a 1 in 7.5 twist rate. Overall length of this particular pistol lands at just under 27 inches overall, and this pistol features a foldable pistol brace. If you purchase this with the rifle version, which has a 16-inch barrel, it would have had a stock, and the folding mechanism is retained as well, so you can also fold that stock on that variant. Out of the box, it comes with iron sights, which feature tritium inserts, just like all of the other Galil Ace pistols and rifles. Overall weight is approximately 6 pounds without a magazine, and that is according to IWI's website. And the fact that this is just over 6 pounds means that this is the lightest variant of the Galil Ace pistol that features the pistol stabilizing brace. That is according to the IWI website. Just like all of the other Galil Ace pistols and rifles, it features a long stroke piston setup, very similar to an AK variant, and it is non-adjustable. On the end of the barrel, right out of the box, it features a birdcage flash hider, and the barrel is a 1/2 by 28 thread pitch, which means you can use all of your standard muzzle devices and accessories that you would typically run on most 5.56 platforms. The finish of the receivers is black. The lower receiver is a milled receiver. According to the IWI website, the MSRP is $1,849, and that is the advertised MSRP on their website. So as you can tell by now, this is the same as all of the other Galil Ace pistol variants, with the exception being the caliber. Really, that's all it comes down to. And I just want to encourage you guys to go through my videos on my page here, because I've done a lot of videos on Galil Ace platforms. So a lot of my opinion of this particular pistol is going to be the same as my 7.62 by 39 variant. Nothing really changes except the caliber. Now, there are some notable things that come with the caliber change and some benefits to the 5.45 by 39 caliber over the 7.62 by 39. But for the most part, this looks, feels, and acts exactly like every other Galil Ace. So nothing special there. As I was shooting this pistol on the range, I just started thinking through the different strengths and weaknesses that this thing brings to the table. And because it has all of the other features of a standard Galil Ace pistol, it has the reliability, accuracy, and dependability of all of the other variants. Some of the strengths that I noticed right away with the Galil Ace is just like all the other variants. It's very reliable right out of the box. It comes with a phenomenal trigger, has a complete Picatinny section up top on the dust cover, and the dust cover does lock in extremely well. The safety is ambidextrous, which means you can left-handed, right-handed, you can turn on and off the safety. I will say that if you're a righty, it is going to be a little bit easier than if you're a lefty, but you can either push forward on the safety on this side to turn it to fire with your thumb, or just use your pointer finger and rock it down, and you can go into fire mode and then shoot like that. It does come with the standard plastic rail that all of the other Galil Ace pistols come with, and underneath these different covers are actually Picatinny sections on the 3, 6, and 9 o'clock sections. So just like all of the other Galil Aces, out of the box, you're gonna have an extremely reliable pistol that is going to be able to have a regular mounted optic on the top, and it is just going to perform right out of the box. One of the other benefits of the 5.45 by 39 caliber is the recoil is substantially less than the 7.62 by 39. And when I first got into this particular Galil Ace, I didn't really know the differences between the 7.62 by 39 and the 5.45 by 39. Because of the name, I just kind of assumed that the 5.45 was going to use a 7.62 case, but just be necked down to a smaller bullet diameter. But in fact, it is a totally different case, and it is very similar to a shorter 5.56 NATO case versus the 7.62 by 39. So there is a lot less powder in this particular round. But the bullets are very impressive. I have 60 grain bullets. We have some 59 or some oddball different grain weights. And I got them from Wolf and Red Army and a couple different manufacturers. But that was one of the other strengths that I noticed right away with this particular gun. Everybody bought all the ammo that was 7.62 by 39 and 5.56 and 9mm, all that stuff. It was purchased up right away. But I was still, and I still am able to purchase bulk 5.45 by 39 ammo. And so that's kind of why I've been on a Galil kick as of lately, is it's just so much easier to get ammo for this thing. Now, as far as weaknesses on this particular build, the weaknesses of this build are the same as all of the other Galil Aces. The biggest, most notable thing that I don't like the more I shoot these things is the factory brace. I really just don't like that it's on a tube. It can rotate very easily. I mean, you can see that. As you're shooting it, depending on how you have the gun, if you ever have to cant it or you're working around cover, you'll notice that the brace just kind of twists around. Now, I suppose you could probably glue that to the tube, but to me, that's kind of unnecessary. I don't really like that. But the reason I don't think it's worth trying to glue it or whatever is because I don't even like the folding mechanism. The folding mechanism is very difficult to actually get folded with one hand. You really got to rack on it and push down to get that to work. Whereas the KNS folder, like I have on my 7.62 by 39, is a simple button and you just flip it over. And then there's no other button or nothing crazy to go through to fold it. Super streamlined, much better design. So if I had to kind of rag on the Galil Ace a little bit, the brace and the folding mechanism are number one. Number two, I really don't like the factory rail. It does work, there's a heat shield in there, your hand's never gonna get hot, all that other stuff. But it's just not very modular. Underneath these plastic covers, I'll see if I can show you guys, you'll see that there's actually Picatinny sections there. And that's fine, you can mount stuff on those, but I just simply prefer the more modern RS Regulate M-LOK rail. Aside from that, the piston is not adjustable from factory, so you're stuck with whatever gas setting it has. Now for the 5.45 by 39, I would say it's kind of gassy. It's definitely got enough oomph and it throws the steel cases pretty far, but I wouldn't say that it's over gas per se. Now when I run my suppressor with my ASR flash hider, I do get a bunch of malfunctions out of this particular gun. So I am going to try to use the KNS Precision adjustable piston for this particular build. So that's the thing about the Galil. If you want it to be a little bit more modern, you end up sinking a little bit of extra money into it. And the conundrum, the dilemma with all of this is a rare firearm. So that's another weakness that I have on my list for this particular build. If you bought this as a collectible, do you really feel like modifying it? And my answer is, to me, it's a tool. So I probably will end up modifying it. I've wanted to do the plastic delete kit from K&S Precision. I probably will do things to this that do not permanently modify the gun because I want to keep it in its original condition, but that's definitely something to keep in mind. Maybe you'll find one of these things used and you're considering whether or not it's worth it. Maybe you don't want to go with the 5.45 by 39 because it is rare. We don't know if IWI is going to be releasing any more of these in the near future. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But even if they do, I suspect that it would be a totally different series of serial numbers so that you can always tell which ones were the original 545. But aside from all of that, I know that the weaknesses kind of seem like I ragged on it pretty much. I love this gun. This gun out of the box is a shooter, very light recoil, strings of fire, this thing stays on target, whereas the 7.62 by 39 really thumps you. And if you're watching the videos and the B-roll playing, you can definitely tell that the 7.62 by 39 has a ton more recoil energy than the 5.45 by 39. So maybe if you're recoil timid or you just like having a unique caliber, this may be a good fit for you. So typically at the end of a video like this, I will do kind of a series here that's who's it for? I try to decide who is this particular pistol for. The problem is this is not commercially available right now, and the only options that you'll have are people that scoop these up right away and now they're trying to sell them on, say, Gunbroker for a premium. So if you find one of these, you may see that it's in the $2,000 to $3,000 range, and you really have to ask yourself at that point, is it worth buying a 5.45 by 39, or should you just go out and get a 7.62 by 39 and then do the K&S folder and adapter for the AR buffer tube, the K&S adjustable piston, the RS Regulate, M-Lock rail, all of that stuff? You could do all of this for possibly less than it's gonna cost you to get this. So it kind of comes down to personal preference. If you are a diehard Galil Ace fanboy, maybe this makes sense for you. Maybe it's something that you're willing to pay the money for. I know that firearms are collectible and maybe you can justify spending the extra money. But for the rest of us, maybe buying something like this doesn't make the most sense. But there's good news there. You can buy the Galil Ace Pistols in 5.56 NATO. If you're more of an AR-15 person, you already have a ton of AR-15 magazines, I would highly recommend considering that Galil if you are looking at getting into a Galil. I know ammo's crazy right now. It's not plentiful, it's very hard to get, and it's very expensive. So that's just something I'm trying to help you guys out with and give you a little bit of direction. Overall, this is a phenomenal firearm, and although I'm not going to do many permanent modifications, I don't think, to this thing, I will do some tasteful modifications that allow it to function even better and run smoother and become just an even better backup gun than it already is. The last thing that I definitely totally forgot to throw into the weaknesses, and I'm just gonna sneak that in here at the end, the Galil Ace in factory form does not really have any good place to mount a sling. And that is another weakness to consider. When you're running the M-Lock rail from RS Regulate plus an SBA3 brace, you now have quick attach points for your sling. But on the factory configuration, there's just a little loop here that I guess they would put a single point sling on. I hate single point slings. To me, they're just asking to get hit in the nuts. But the factory brace here that is on this pistol has no mounting method for a sling. I guess you could kind of thread it through this hole, wrap it around here, but then you'd have to get a Picatinny adapter for up here in order to run a sling on the rail. So that's just one more thing to keep in mind. So although this is not a commercially available caliber for this platform at this point, I thought it was pretty cool that IWI decided to release a limited edition run of these. For the folks that are diehard IWI fans, a lot of them got their hands on a very unique collectible firearm that, who knows, maybe someday will be worth a lot of money. And if you were lucky enough to get your hands on one of these 5.45 by 39 pistols or rifles, IWI did send out a pretty cool certificate of authenticity for every single one. Overall, this is an amazing little pistol. I've been running it for weeks, put a couple thousand rounds through it, performs awesome. There's just a couple minor tweaks that I'm gonna do to it to make it more of my own kind of a pistol. Hopefully you guys found that entertaining. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you're new to IWI or maybe you're just researching the Galil Ace platforms, this probably isn't the one that you're gonna be able to dive into first, but if nothing else, I hope that this was entertaining for you. And guys, just remember that if you're enjoying these videos, definitely consider supporting me. And the way that you can do that is to hop on over to tatargets.com. That's my company. We manufacture awesome steel targets, and I definitely think you should hop over there and consider purchasing some steel targets. So why would you want to do that? Well, the reason why is steel targets can help you train more efficiently. And at the end of the day, we want you guys to get out with modern arms, not necessarily just Grandpappy's little lever gun or deer hunting rifles or things. We want you to pick up weapons like this and then hit the range with purpose so that you can become better prepared with those firearms. We truly believe as a company and a team that when the citizenry are armed and very well trained, that we will have safer communities and more responsible people who are able and willing to stand up and defend against evil at a moment's notice. And when you're supporting our company through purchasing a target or cardboard targets, a t-shirt, whatever it is, you're also enabling us to create content like this, which will also entertain you guys, but hopefully provide you good information as well. So definitely consider doing that. And if you do feel like you need to purchase some stuff off of our website, use code KeystoneCarry at checkout. It's gonna save you 10%. You're helping us out, we're helping you out. We appreciate it. And without you guys, this kind of stuff would not be possible. So guys, hop into the comment section, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think about this video. And until next time, stay well, stay safe. I will see you in the next video.